Good morning, David. Okay. Right. Good morning. It's David daily time for Tuesday. It is Thursday the 18th of February. Wow, that was the worst introduction ever, and yeah, I don't care. So today I'm going to be merging photos together in Lightroom, Photoshop and Affinity Photo. But not just any photos, raw files, DNG files that I took on my iPhone 12 Pro to show you how to create like a panorama. It's not going to be a HDR merge, it's going to be a panorama merge. So that's where you literally just stand there and you take a photo, you move, you take another one, you move, you take another picture. And I'll run through some sort of key steps to getting this right, so the merge will be successful. But let's just jump right into it. I've already transferred the pictures from my iPhone to the Mac because I'm recording on my iPhone 12 Pro and I'm recording my voice as well on my iPhone XR, so I don't have any sort of, like, I wanted to show you the transfer process, but never mind. They are here in my downloads folder. I just airdropped them from my iPhone. It's from the Photos app, it's not a big deal. So I want to just select them all, come down to Lightroom, and this is where I think 99% of people will merge photos together. I'll bring these DNGs in, sorry, these hikes in at the same time, because I'm going to show you something with hikes. Because Adobe software doesn't seem to like iPhone DNG files when it comes to merging them together. So what you do is you get your DNGs, you get one, I'll show you what they look like actually. Here's one, here's two, and here is the third DNG. So, and if you're wondering how to take DNGs that look like this, I have recently released a new video, my complete iPhone RAW shooting and editing workflow that you should find useful, where I go through how to take pictures like this. That's on my main channel. So select all the DNGs and you want to press Ctrl M, which is the keyboard shortcut for panorama, and you get this here. One of three images were unable to be merged, and no matter what setting you put, I mean, you can put perspective and it does use all three, but it looks like this. It's not a good result whatsoever. I want it to look like this, but I want my third image over here on the right hand side, and nothing that I do fixes this. And this is the same in Photoshop as well, so I don't want that. I'm going to cancel that. If I take these images into Photoshop and I go on File, Automate, and Photo Merge, I'm going to use, let me just drag the Photo Merge screen over to the screen that you can see. I'm going to browse files and I'm going to choose my DNGs. Okay, so here they are, 1, 2 and 3, and you've got all these layout options here. If you choose auto, that seems to be the best option, but I want them spherical. That's the best option. But I'll show you what auto does and I'll show you what spherical does, and it's embarrassing. As I always say, I have no idea how software, like the amount of like skill and like intelligence you need to write an app like Photoshop is far beyond me. This is the best result it's done. Gosh, when I was testing this out before I hit record, it always produced a terrible result, and here's me slagging it off on my video and now it's just produced a decent result. That's sod's law, isn't it? That is sod's law. Okay, it's produced a good result. It doesn't normally, so I'm happy about that. I'm not embarrassed, I'm pleased. So yeah, and obviously, like, you don't want this this checkerboard bit, and what you can do now is you can either just crop it or you can do content aware fill to fill this in. It's pretty good. Adobe's got their content aware fill game down pretty strong, but I'm happy to just crop it for now. So right, okay, that's how you do it in Photoshop, and it's actually worked. So I suppose the lesson, the takeaway from this is that if it doesn't work once, then try again, I suppose. And the great thing about it in Photoshop, one of the great things, is that it's got 3 DNGs all combined together. So it doesn't merge them and then create a separate JPEG or something like Affinity does, because you can do the same thing in Affinity, but it turns them into it turns the picture into a JPEG, and I don't know how to keep it as a DNG if that is an option. But if you don't have Photoshop, you should have Photoshop with Lightroom. Lightroom and Photoshop, if you have Adobe's Creative Cloud, come as a bundle in the photography bundle for $9.99. So you should get Photoshop. If you have one without the other, that's very unusual. I'm just going back to Lightroom. I'll show you what happens if you use the hikes. So I have the 3 hike images here that I've edited. That I edited in darkroom. Sorry, this is the noise outside. People, I don't know, very noisy. So yeah, the panorama, the hikes merge into a panorama, no problem. Then you can fill the edges, and again, it works really well when you fill the edges. And we've got the spherical projection, which is the best one, and it doesn't usually take this long to fill the edges. There we go. You press merge, and that's what should have happened with DNGs, but it just doesn't seem to like the last DNG. This isn't the only example this has happened with. Like in the past, I've tried to do it and it's just not worked, and I really don't know why. I've tried to do everything that I can to fix it, but so if you know better than me, I mean, if you know better than me, I don't imagine you're going to be watching a video on how to create a panorama. But if you do find like the solution, just let me know. So I think that's there's nothing else to go through really. But yeah, this has created a DNG, but the DNG has been made from 3 hike files, so it's for me kind of defeats the purpose really. But I'm really happy that the Photoshop one worked, and the Photoshop one has maintained its status as a DNG. So yeah, really pleased with that, and I hope you learned something. I hope you've enjoyed this episode for the 18th, Thursday the 18th of February, and I will see you in the next one. See you tomorrow.